Welcome back, y'all. Welcome back to another video, man. Today we are going to be talking about cold approaching and is it worth it in the year 2025, man. But just before I get this video started, man, if you enjoy this video, man, do not forget to comment, like, and subscribe, man. But just imagine it's the year 2016. It's the summertime. You're on summer break and you and some friends are like, hey, let's go to the beach, let's go to the mall and talk to some girls, right? Let's get their Instagram. Actually, Instagram wasn't even that big of a thing, right? Let's get their Facebook. I know I'm Unc, right? Let's get their numbers, let's get their snaps, maybe, right? If that was a thing. And I felt like back then the odds were pretty high, right? If you went up to 3, or hell, if you went up to 5 women, probably 2 or 3 you would actually get something from them, versus 2025 it's damn, you can go up to all 5 and get nothing, bro. And then it's just gonna leave you feeling frustrated. It's just gonna leave you feeling upset and angry, like, damn, is this shit worth it? Am I ugly? But the truth is, we just live in a world, bro, where a lot of people's interactions now are just online, man. And a lot of people, unfortunately, are not open to having strangers necessarily come up to them, even if they are attractive, right? I'm not saying that cold approaching is necessarily bad. It's not bad. I would still say, I'm gonna say, if you are 23 and below, I would say try it out, right? Get comfortable interacting with women, right? But I wouldn't necessarily say that should be solely your way of meeting women, because odds are it's just gonna leave you very bitter about women, right? Because a lot of women, here's the truth, a lot of women actually don't like the majority of men. As you already know, they only like 10 to 20% of men, and it might even be lower now, man, because I feel like every year even attractive men are, I guess, seen as mid or average because of the fact that a lot of people are online, right? And they're seeing all these dudes who are King 6'8", the Great, right? People like that, Marlon, just like all those people, right? Who are just super attractive. It's the same thing with physiques, man, right? So back then, the Spider-Man, Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man was like, damn, this is peak physique. Versus now, they're like, man, that shit is mid, bruh. Get that goofy at, cause nigga, you are looking at dudes who are juiced to the kazoo, bruh. Juiced up niggas, right? Versus just, hey, I'm 10% body fat, I'm lean, I'm fit, but you're not gonna look like the dude who's on freaking trend. I'm sorry, you're just not. And even if you were 8%, 7%, odds are you are not going to be able to keep that shit year round. That's, for the average person, that's damn near impossible. Your libido is gonna go down. There is so many side effects of being that low, but that's not the point. The point I'm trying to make is that the standards for men has definitely increased. And my very first ex actually came up to me and she actually made the first move on me, right? And another example back then was the fact that, so there was this girl that I had an eye on, right? And I was like, damn, you know what? I should go play volleyball just to try to see if I can plot, right? And then I was like, damn, I didn't really do anything because the friends were there and I just got nervous, right? So I just walked off. I was like, damn, I'm such a pussy, bro, but it's okay. And not even a few blocks, her friend runs up and she's like, wait, hold up, my friend actually thinks you're cute. And she's like, hey, can I have, and she actually wants your number. Here you go. And it was a girl that I actually wanted. I was like, damn, I'm glad that I wasn't the only one that was feeling her. So, and then bam, right? So there's that. Versus now, it doesn't happen as much, just like day to day. Every now and then, bro, a big back would just come up and, hey, how are you? I think you're attractive. I don't want your ass, bro. Harassment. I was like, get out of here, bro. Nah, but versus the women that I be really wanting, bro, for the most part, they play so much games now. And I'm just like, damn. And I just believe that the whole numbers system or the volume, you have to do more volume, right? And I feel like nowadays, especially the fact that I've just worked on my a lot more, right? I've gotten in better shape, grooming, hair, just like everything, right? Fashion wise, and just trying to find ways to just elevate myself and to become the best version of myself. See, when you become the best version of yourself, especially in the year 2025, man, you scare a lot of people, man, and you become a threat, man. And that's just the unfortunate part. A lot of people don't want to see you up there, right? They want to feel comfortable around you. So when you are like that, a lot of women are going to essentially disqualify themselves, and at some points it can feel like a lonely journey. I feel like the only people who I like attract are pretty much people who are on my level, and that's not the majority of people, right? There is a select few people who are actually with this life, right? Who are trying to live a healthy life, who go to the gym consistently, right? Who's trying to just live a healthy, active life. And the majority of people are just not on that level. And even you, right, when you become more attractive, right, you have to, your mindset shifts about who you're going to allow to be in your life long term. And I know that was a bit of a rant, but going back to the cold approach, is it worth it? I would say yes and no. If I would say definitely move very selectively, right? I was sort of against the whole choosing signals, don't go or F them. But it's like when you are a certain caliber of guy, I would say definitely, I don't want to say rely on choosing signals necessarily, man. I would say definitely, yes, be in the lookout, look for indicators, but at the same time, just because a girl doesn't look at you doesn't necessarily mean she doesn't like you or likes you, right? Because a girl could look at you, it doesn't necessarily mean that she likes you, but it's how she looks at you, right? If she looks at you and she smirks, odds are she's saying, hey, come up, because most women are never going to come up to you. That's the truth. But it's also the fact that a lot of people, like I said, I think the best way to actually get women in 2025 is online, I feel like. And it's unfortunate, or I would say join some kind of club where you see them consistently and you can build something off of that, right? Instead of complete cold approach strangers, because odds are they might give you their numbers or their Instagrams, but most of those interactions don't go anywhere, man. They might follow you back, maybe you might back and forth, but it never goes anywhere because odds are they probably weren't that invested in you and they were probably just being nice, or they loved your interaction and the validation that y'all had in person, but at the back of their minds they just couldn't see it really going anywhere far, right? Versus back then, I could approach a girl in the train multiple times and women would actually show up to these dates. I would say, hey, let's try to hang out on this day and that day. Let's go grab coffee. Let's go grab this. And women would actually show up. I felt like my closing rate back then was probably, I would say my closing rate was probably like 70% or something, right? It was pretty, I could actually live off of, like, I could actually get results strictly from just approaching women in person, right? I didn't need to be online or anything, but like I said, with how things are going now, you definitely have to have some sort of online presence. I would say the simplest way is to create a funnel, right? Is to work on yourself, right? Get yourself in shape, look like a top 10, 20% guy, right? Have your profiles out, man, online, right? I would say definitely get your Instagram popping, bro. That's the best way, because if you can get that popping, you can just DM women, or hell, if you are in very great shape and if you are an attractive man, women will actually DM you first, right? Versus you having to go up and just talk to all these women, and then odds are it's not gonna go anywhere, because half of the girls now are online, right? There are some girls I would see out and a week later I see them on the apps anyway. You feel me? So it's like, why not just go online? Because the majority of people or the majority of women, unfortunately, are not necessarily open to having strangers necessarily approach them, and or at least a very few. And with that, I would say, once again, that game is for if you are 23 to 16 or whatnot. I would say that, right? Definitely get your confidence up, your resilience up, your discipline up, right? Because all those things will definitely help you socially, right? But because if you just live online, eventually you can game a girl all you want texting, but at some point you're going to meet them in person and you're going to have to learn how to actually have a conversation with a stranger. So definitely use cold approach as a way to get more comfortable with just talking to strangers and just developing rapport with them quickly, right? Having a sense of swagger, right? Making them feel comfortable, learning how to flirt. I would say in the year 2025, that's probably what I would say cold approach is best for. It's not to necessarily get dates, especially if you are a busy guy on his purpose. You don't have time to just be going out there and just approaching all these women for it to just surmount to maybe one date out of 30 girls or 50 girls, right? Because a lot of women are unfortunately are never going to respond back. They might flake, they might go ghost. But even with online, it's still the same shit, but you're not really wasting your time having to go up, because there are things you can do to know, right? Hey, are they being compliant? Are they open to actually hanging out, and will they actually show up, right? Because it doesn't mean any till that girl shows up and you are in front of her, right? That means that she wants to actually move things forward, right? Versus you are just approaching all these women and just, it may or may not go anywhere. You might get 1 or 2 dates, like I said, from that 50, right? So I would definitely say get your online presence up, find a way to grow your Instagram, to grow your TikTok, and just post thirst traps. My best advice is to post thirst traps, man. Especially if you are a very fit person, women are going to be simping for you, right? And there are going to be women who are willing to actually DM you, and then you can take it from there if you find them attractive as well, instead of just after blow. Because a lot of women, even if you are an attractive guy, a lot of women are just not going to be into you, or they might have boyfriends, or they might be gay. 2025 is a crazy year, man. Or hell, there might even be a dude. I've been there. I have approached people who I thought were women, but they weren't women. Get me out of here, bro, right? And I've made that too. So there's a lot of variables that go on, and even then I would say cold approaching isn't necessarily bad, because you could do an instant date, right? I used to do that too, just like, hey, what are you up to? And then you can actually take the girl on a date real time, get to know her, and then bam, that's a date right there, right? Go and grab boba or go and grab coffee, ice cream right then and there, and then that way you have more time, and then you guys are vibing, and then you can take it home. You feel me? Do your thing, and then that could actually blossom into something. Versus, oh, you talk to her and then you grab her info and then bam, and it just don't go anywhere. Why not just spend that time actually just getting a date? Because at that point, it wouldn't be different than DMing women and just trying to go back and forth and then wait a day or 3 to actually get the damn date, right? Versus you go up in person, bam, she's feeling you, is she free, right? Just getting logistics is key. And it's the same thing when you're on a date with a girl. Hey, what is your game plan, right? Do you want to take this girl home, right? Then how are you going to do that? That's what it comes down to. It's just having a game plan, and it's the same thing. So I would say cold approaching in 2025, if you're just trying to mass approach women, probably not a good thing, because once again, so many variables. They could be gay, they could have boyfriends, they are just straight up not interested, right? They will give all these excuses because most women are just not attracted to most men or want to date most men. Unfortunately, that's the year that's just the times that we're in, right? So I hope this video helps out. Once again, I'm not against cold approaching, but I would say at my level, I would probably do it more selectively. I would go up to women who I genuinely like really want, versus if I see a girl, oh, she's cute, that like I don't have to approach her unless she's giving me signals that I should, versus a girl where I'm like, damn you bad. You know what? I don't care if she says no, I don't care if she has a boyfriend. Cool. I'm gonna just go up, talk to her. It goes great. If it goes bad, but at least I went up to the girl that I really genuinely wanted, right? Versus if I'm just going up to every damn girl, damn bro, you look thirsty. Versus keep calm, be aware of your surroundings, and then just see who they're. Okay, I'm seeing one girl there, she's looking at me. Is she my type? Maybe not. Keep it pushing. But the majority of women, when you're walking, their heads are gonna be down, especially if you are an attractive guy, they're gonna be shy, right? So once again, keep it selective if you are at a level where you've done the work and that you are an attractive person, and run most of your game, create an online funnel, man. I feel like that's the best way, especially if you are more busier, right? That's the best way, man. But yeah, I hope that this video helped a lot, and I hope that you guys can take something out of this. And if you have any questions, let me know. But peace out, y'all. Blessings and love, man.